We've had rather tragic events in the country on the 18th of July 2012. We are very, very fortunate to have with us one of the premier pathologists in the Caribbean. To my right, Dr. Hubert Daisley, who is a professor. He is at the University of the West Indies and has been in this field since 1985. As you all know, the post-mortems, I don't know if that's correct, but the post-mortem of the three dead bodies took place this morning. That post-mortem was performed by Dr. Nihal Singh, and Dr. Daisley was retained by friends to observe that process. Prior to the commencement of the post-mortem, he met with Dr. Singh, and of course they discussed the protocols Dr. Daisley was observing. There are preliminary findings that Dr. Daisley is going to share with you, but I do have to alert you that they are distressing. After this is finished, we will take a few questions. Dr. Hubert Daisley.
Yeah. Hi.
Can you speak a little?
Good morning. I think it's morning or good afternoon. Time has gone so much. As Mr. Hughes said, I came this morning to observe as a pathologist the performance of the autopsies on three young men, and these three young men died of gunshot injuries. They all died in similar fashion. I mean, two were shot in the anterior left chest. One of that person was also shot in the left leg and the right leg, with the fatal injury in that particular person being in the anterior chest, penetrating the lung and the heart, and causing profuse bleeding or hemorrhage and dying in shock. The other two individuals, one was shot in the back, twice in the back, one in the lower left back, one in the upper left back. The shot in the upper left back again penetrated the heart and the lung, and he also exsanguinated in the chest, the left chest cavity. And the other individual, the last individual, had one shot really to the anterior left chest, and which would have penetrated the heart and the lung, and he also exsanguinated and died of shock as a result of the blood loss. What was common with these three individuals were they all were shot in the chest, the left chest. Two were shot anteriorly, and the two who were shot anteriorly, the metal fragments that were found, as I described before, went through the heart and went through the lung. And also the one who was shot posteriorly in the chest, he suffered the same fate. The metal fragments in two of the cases look almost identical, and there was a little variation probably in the other metal fragment that went into the chest. Of course, these are going to be verified by ballistics to determine what caliber weapon that was used, but two of them look pretty similar, and probably it is, if they were being fired upon by multiple people, probably they all had similar weapons, or probably the ballistics probably might tell you that they all came from one weapon. So that would be in the hands of the ballistic people to determine if it was one weapon that was fired or multiple weapons that were fired to bring about the death of these three individuals. So in conclusion, as I said, these three chaps all died of gunshot injuries. Two had the fatal injury with the entry into the anterior left chest, causing damage to the heart and the lung. And the other chap also had fatal chest injury, but the entry wound was in the posterior, or the back as the case may be. Again, entering the lung and the heart and causing hemorrhage in the left pleural cavity. And all three succumbed to hemorrhage and shock as a result of the gunshot injuries.
Doc, before we take questions, I wonder if you could address the question of whether any of the objects that were used were any of them plastic.
No, these were metal. These were metal. They were capped with a bronze-looking cap, almost gold, but I think it is bronze. And the core of these were lead. So they had cap or casing of bronze and the core of lead. These were not rubber by any chance. They were metal.
Were they consistent with pellets?
No, they didn't. No, these didn't look like pellets. There might have been the one that was lodged in the leg of the individual, the first individual.
Somerset.
That looked uniform like lead. It was flattened out against the long bone or the femur, and it was flattened out like a 10-cent piece, a Trinidad 10-cent piece, or a metal 10-cent. It was flattened out. But the other bullets or the other metal fragments looked like missile from a handgun, a low velocity sort of handgun.
And were all of them in the left chest, meaning by the heart? The heart was perforated?
Oh yeah, the heart was perforated.
In each case?
And they didn't exit. They entered, but they did not exit, and we were able to locate them. The one that was shot at the back, the chap who was shot in the back, the bullet was lodged. It went through the lung and the heart, and it was lodged in the anterior pectoralis muscles inside. And the other chap who was shot, the other two were shot anteriorly in the chest. The bullets were lodged in the intercostal muscles at the back, all right, after penetrating the lung and the heart. They were lodged in the intercostal muscles in the back. So we were able to retrieve the missile or metal fragments, and they were given to the investigating officer or the officer who were there during the autopsy.
Final question before we open it. Were any of these injuries consistent with shotgun?
No, these didn't look like shotgun injuries to me. The first one, the chap who had the one shot alone, I mean, in a shotgun injury, I would expect multiple shots. These were single shots to the chest. Single shots to the chest rather than,
Members of the press, floor is open to you.